Hey, Forge fans, it is the Forge Audio Network. I'm Anthony Urciuoli, your digital host, and it is the match day preview. Forge FC hosting FC Edmonton at Tim Hortons Field in Hamilton Tuesday night, 6:45 p.m. is the official start time for that match, and it is a match that may, in many cases, under these circumstances, be considered a potential trap situation for Forge FC. Long layoff, 10 days off. They take on the last place team in the CPL, but a club that they have 2 wins over the last 5 matches. They've scored 5 goals in the last 2 matches. They've scored at least 1 goal in 10 straight matches. Have Edmonton, and the last time they played Forge, they scored 3 goals, and Forge had to come back from a pair of deficits to win, and they needed 4 goals to win that match. So Edmonton has a way of sneaking up on you and catching you off guard. So under those circumstances, this could be considered a trap situation, but Forge is also very aware of the situation. So Forge now looking at Edmonton as their next opponent, who again they've been tricky this year, but it's odd. They've given up a lot of goals. They've given up 28, which is by far the most in the league, but they're also a great defensive team. This is why Edmonton is difficult. They're tough to break down, but they have given up a lot of goals. They don't have the star power or the horses to score a lot of goals, but they've been scoring in bunches, 2-3 goals here and there. So it's a tricky team to kind of figure out. So while you can't take them too lightly, let's also not give them too much credit. And I'll get into that in a bit. But first, though, let's talk about the defensive style that Edmonton likes to play against Forge, who is, statistically, it's off because of all these, some clubs have played 16 matches, Forge has only played 12. The numbers are a little off, but Forge, again, one of the better, if not the best offensive team in the league, a team that can score goals. They're going to be facing, and they have this year a lot, that lower block. Teams sitting back, forcing Forge into turnovers and mistakes, and then trying to beat them on the counter. Forge is going to face that again, undoubtedly, Tuesday night in Hamilton. Noah Jensen, who we don't know whether he's going to start or come or be a substitute in this match, but he spoke in the pre-match press conference about those lower blocks. Now, again, Noah's new-ish to the pro game. This is his first year in the pro game, so these lower blocks that he's facing, it's not like anything he's ever really had to deal with in his career, not to this degree anyway. So I asked Noah, facing these lower blocks and these teams that play in these very tight defensive shells, what's it like?
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a new challenge that we've definitely seen more frequently over the last couple of games. But it's definitely something that we've worked on, and we have bettered ourselves based on the past results to kind of learn from those and to get better against it going forward. And we know that maybe teams are gonna try to do that, especially when they play here to cause us some problems. But yeah, we've gotten better at it, and hopefully that shouldn't be a problem for us in the future.
Now, a challenge for Bobby and his staff is keeping the guys ready despite those long layoffs. Human nature takes over in some of these, and we've seen it this year after some lengthy breaks from some clubs. You think you're ready, you went hard at practice, you're sure, and then we kick off and it just isn't there. There's some rust. The timing's a little off. It's so hard to duplicate that in match intensity that you get. You can't, as much as you try with your own team in scrimmages, it never quite reaches that same level. So for Forge head coach and technical director Bobby Smyrniotis, again, he's coming in off a long break, and he spoke about how he's handled it and how he expects the club to respond.
No, I think you use the days to work on a multitude of things. One, it's a small period just to make sure our fitness levels are at the right place, to make sure that the guys are also fresh in the right moment, because you don't get many periods like this to work on a combination of that. So you have to be very careful in how you plan training throughout the period where you give the days off and so on. And then from a training component and on the ball, it's just more time to work. Just get out on the pitch, work on our principles, and keep on going. It's not the easiest thing to have these periods. It's our second period of 10 days without a game. And I think the biggest thing is you always want to find the rhythm to play matches. We saw that, previously when there was about 5 games, we'd gone undefeated and just playing on a normal schedule. I think that's important as we see it, and we see with the other teams. I think there's teams already at 16 matches, and we're sitting at 12. But that's what's there. We take it in stride, and I think it's been a very good 10 days that we've had working here with the guys, and we're ready to play games.
So Edmonton, who's it's a young club under some financial restraints that other clubs do not have. They don't have, again, the horses to score a lot of goals, so they play this defensive style. But they've scored this year in bunches. I'll repeat, last 2 games, they've scored a total of 5 goals. They've scored at least a goal in their last 10, so they haven't been blanked. And against Forge, they scored 3 goals. Forge is the top defensive club in the league right now in terms of goals and opportunities against. And Edmonton scored 3 on them. So it's tricky trying to figure out what Edmonton is unless you are Bobby Smyrniotis. I think he's aware of what's going on here. And he didn't say this. This is coming from me. There's a couple things. We'll hear from Bobby in a couple of seconds and his thoughts on Edmonton. But ultimately, this isn't a club that gets a lot of opportunities. They don't get many shots on target. They don't get the ball into their opponent's final third very often. They get very few touches inside the box. So how are they scoring these goals? Is there a little bit of good fortune involved? And at the end of the day, they're in their last 3 matches, their passing accuracy is at 68%. I mean, 68%, like Forge is at 85%. And there's no club even remotely that low at 68%. It's only Edmonton. So how are they scoring these goals? Let's ask Bobby Smyrniotis that question.
Yeah, well, I think first and foremost, you play football to score goals. You play this sport to do things. So that means, they're doing what they should be doing, putting the ball in the back of the net. I think they've become a little bit more vertical as a team in trying to find certain spaces on the field. More direct in situations and trying to find teams out of shape. I think they did a very good job with that against Pacific. I think that was in their last game where they created a lot of opportunities and getting in behind there and taking their opportunities. Sometimes you create a lot and you score, and sometimes you create little. You look at that last game against us, the game finishes 4-3 and they've taken 2 shots on goal and they've had 3 goals. So you can look at it in a million different ways. For us, the most important thing is that we do what we need to do. We expect teams, any team, to come in here and play and to want to score goals and to do all of these things. But we need to be playing our football. We need to be on the front foot. We need to be doing what's important for us, and that's the biggest message we have with the guys.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Anthony. Next question will go over to Mitchell Tierney. Go ahead, Mitchell.
Bobby, speaking of the defensive situation with the 10-day layoff, how's the health of the guys looking? I know Alex obviously had a bit of an injury and wasn't available last time, and I know Dom's been close. So what's the update on those 2 guys? Yeah,
both of them are fully training. They're fully into it. We have this game on Tuesday, following up with one on Sunday. So I think we'll slowly start seeing them back in the lineup in one manner or another. Just making sure things are right. So from that end, we're getting healthy with some of the guys, but at the same time, we have the depth to be able to deal with most of these situations. If you asked me earlier in the season, how do you do it without any backs? I'd be shaking my head. But we've seen that not only guys like Abu Sissoko who have gone back there, Ashton Morgan's played as center back, Janssen, and then Malik, who has become a pro very quick. They've all done a great job. So now we're confident as we go forward. Yes, you don't want players to be injured. You don't want to be missing players, but you're confident that guys can slide in, take care of the situations at hand. And, slowly, week by week, we're getting the guys back. Those 2 guys will be back in the lineup this week, and we're just happy to have them in.
All right, at the end of the day, Forge should be able to take care of business here. There's no reason that Forge should not be able to handily win this match against FC Edmonton at home in front of their fans at Tim Hortons Field. And that'll be the challenge. By the way, tickets available now. Show up early, $5 beers before kickoff. And things are going to be moving quick. After a slow week last week with no matches, we have Forge Tuesday night, Forge again on Saturday, and I can't wait. Tickets are available for both matches. Keep it locked onto the Forge Audio Network. 3 keys to the match are coming up. And then if I don't see you or talk to you at the game Tuesday night, I will talk to you immediately after the match. So enjoy. We'll talk to you soon.
Forge FC is prepared, and now you are informed. This has been Match Day Preview with Anthony Urciuoli on the Forge Audio Network. Subscribe on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.